Hello. Hi, I'm Serendipity Wyrd, and I'm going live today just to. I haven't done it in like forever, and I kind of wanted to give some updates on where things are and what I'm doing. If you've been following along, I thought, right, at the beginning of September that I was gonna. I'm so good at creating projects that are way too big and like to handle all at once. But I thought I would create a video every day, put it up to YouTube, and we'd go through this whole journey in 30 days and really work on self love and everything. That is still happening. There is no change to that. However, I did discover that the way I want to create the videos, because I'm not doing this live situation, I'm recording and editing and learning all of these things about like video creation, and it's all really super awesome on my end because I get to learn a whole bunch of things and I love learning things. It's, yeah, creating a video a day like is not probable in my life, right? Like I have family and like things other than, I don't know, sometimes I think I get in my mind and like that I exist in a vacuum and that I can ignore the whole rest of the world and just do a thing, and that doesn't equate. So, I am still working on videos. I have more of our daily divination prompts. I am thinking that today I'm going to try to get up to kind of where we are in the month. All of those prompts posted in Weird Divination. That way I can keep posting the prompts daily while I take my time sorting out the videos and the practices. Because I don't want the practices to be just thrown together out of nowhere with no thought put into them, right? Just because I'm trying to meet a deadline. That would not be helpful to me because primarily, first of all, this is a journey I'm taking myself on. I'm just inviting you all to come along because, I don't know, the gods told me to. Back in 2018, they said make a YouTube channel, do this thing, leave your corporate job, figure it out. No real clear path on what I've been doing the past couple years. And it's starting to make a little bit of sense. It's starting to kind of come together. You know, my skill sets are making sense in how they can be, you know, supporting me and be a businessy kind of thing. So, yeah, in that, I've decided to not rush and try to have this done by the end of September. I've already mentioned that in a blog post, but I kind of just wanted to come on video and say these words with my mouth, let y'all know I'm here. I haven't like disappeared. Historically, I've had kind of I've noticed trends within the way that I develop and the way that I create things, and I have moments of lots of ability to and lots of energy to be really vocal, and then I have to be quiet for a while I put some things together and while I make them make sense and synthesize, one of my favorite words, synthesize it into something that then I can come back out and share. So I don't know why I have like no or had no real sense of how timing actually works. I think because I don't quite live in like a linear time span, so it kind of doesn't matter in the creation process, but yeah. So this is the thing. If I'm going to try really hard not to put time frames on my projects from now on, unless somehow they've magically been all created and packaged beforehand, because this happens like every time. Every time. Every time. So, yeah, it's kind of where things are. Um, I've recorded 2 more practices for us. I'm about to step into the editing side of things and start putting that together so I can get the videos up on YouTube. But I do want to give us divination prompts over in Weird Divination so that we can keep working with at least the divination side of it while I'm working out the other pieces and packaging that up. I appreciate, as always, your patience and your interest in these things that I do. Um, Sorry, not sorry, right? That, like, I don't understand time. There's no apologies for art. I don't know. Like, it's, I've I've spent about a week now, week and a half, really doing a lot of inner work around not like beating myself up over not understanding or not realizing the amount of work I was getting myself into. Um, and so obviously that's a really real part of my journey here, and I've sat a lot with thinking and with feeling how not following through is how do I feel about that, and why do I set deadlines for myself, and unraveling all of this kind of stuff within me. So that on the outside I think can totally look like I've disappeared off the face of the planet and who knows what's going on. So I just want you to know I am here. I am figuring things out. I am creating lovely things to share with you all, and hopefully we will be seeing I think no promises here. I think at least a couple of the videos are going to come out every week. So I really have no attachment anymore to what kind of time frame that this thing is looking at. I think eventually it's a thing that I can build into being kind of this like 30-day process, but I'm going on this adventure for the first time. And I like to, and it works for me to build and share my practices as they evolve. So I have definitely discovered over the past couple of years, as I've been figuring out what is it that I'm being called to do, um, I've realized that like my way of working is not a figure it out and then present it. I like to show the messy and the vulnerable and the just inside aspect of my process. And honestly, when I got the first whispers about like creating a YouTube channel or being public with my witchy self, those messages were all around showing that, and that's been really hard for me. It's been really fearful. I've really dealt with a lot of like, oh, it's supposed to be done like this. The other examples of people doing things have it all packaged and shiny, but I there's a place for packaged and shiny, and I think there's also a place for seeing that witchy aesthetic and that like Instagram perfect witchcraft is not is kind of what happens after. When you're in the process and when you're doing the work, it is messy, for lack, I know I've said that like a bunch of times now, but it is messy. It's not very straightforward. You might not know what you're doing. It's experimentation, and I love experimenting with things. My favorite way to do art, magic, what have you, is to have a bunch of things at my disposal and play with them until I figure out what feels like it's fitting together, because I'm very field based. So, which is why my surroundings, my workspace that I'm inviting y'all into now, is cluttered with things, because those things I engage with as they call to me. I don't know, that's my process. I have never really had anybody to provide an example of a process, and so that kind of led me to being this very insecure person who was like, oh, I do everything wrong, half of it's backwards, and I complicate things, and and I'm just trying to show that now. I'm trying to let that fear go away, release it down, not care about it, not give it too much attention, and instead show and share these things, because I think they're really important. I feel very much deep, deep within my soul that I'm supposed to share these things, even if that doesn't make a lot of sense to me or maybe anybody else. But that's what it is. So that's the update. I'm getting more practices together. We will continue to have these practices, probably maybe a couple of them a week. I'm not really sure. And then we'll go from there. And yeah, so thank you for joining me on this journey. And I will see you next time. Lots of love. Mwah. Have a fantastic day.